So more than 17% of the world's population resides in India, but the country has only 4% of the world's renewable water resources, right? More than 600 million people do not have access to water resources. This is a serious problem that India has. Now, apart from beings, is the animals, livestock, and agriculture. Agriculture, in fact, requires significant amounts of water, and this is a significant problem with water shortages that we have. So realizing all this, the government of India has put together all the water programs under a single umbrella, the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Namni Gange, the water linking projects. They're all have been put together under a single umbrella. So that makes it so significant that this problem can be addressed. Now, there is a need to provide water that can be had easily, which is in terms of quantity and quality, water really needs to be available, right? Especially in rural areas, in areas where agriculture is important. That is an area where things have to really move ahead. Now, because of this significant focus, this area becomes really important. Another issue out here is in terms of financing, because such a large scale projects that require significant funding. So how do you sort of handle this? Now, in order to help us understand the issues at hand, we have two eminent people with us, Marcela D'Souza and Dr. Tyagi, and I would request them to sort of speak in the beginning, the initial bits for about 2 minutes each, to give their views, and then we'll get into a question and answer session. So over to Marcela for the initial thoughts.
Thank you, Utkarsh, and good afternoon, everyone. Talking about water infrastructure and water management. With our country being a hotspot for climate change, and with 69% of our landscape being dry lands, we have no option but to work at water harvesting. I would be talking about the water harvesting across the landscapes in the dryland areas and rural areas. We all know that watershed development has been well tested and is proven to be effective in harvesting water. However, there are certain crucial aspects that we need to consider, because the landscape is not the same all over, and therefore we need to take an ecosystems-based approach to land management and water harvesting. In this way, when the people and the community is active in its regeneration, it is then that the local communities can manage their water resources. And if we work towards an ecosystems perspective, we will realize that healthy ecosystems will provide services that are plenty. But on the other hand, we need good water management and the demand side management, particularly in rural areas. What my organization, the Watershed Organization Trust, has done is to look at it from a water stewardship approach, where the local communities participate in the planning, in the regeneration, and in the management of water, based according to the rainfall availability and the climate of that particular year, and then planning agriculture and crop rotation accordingly, taking measures to save water. So this would be the two aspects of supply side management with the community and participatory use by the people again, and on a landscape basis that could provide us with help to manage the water resources in rural areas. Thank you.
Dr. Tyagi, please share your thoughts as well.
Thank you, Utkarsh, and good afternoon to all. As we all know, agriculture sector is the largest consumer of water and accounts for over 80% of total water withdrawals in our country. So when we say so and talk about the water scarcity and meeting the growing water demands from various sectors, irrigation water management in agriculture becomes pivotal. And we need to plan and implement better water management options and strategies in this sector. And if we go a little back, then we see that during the post-independence period, the country has invested a huge amount of capital in the infrastructure development of irrigation projects. And in spite of these large investment, the performance of many irrigation and drainage systems is significantly below potential due to variety of shortcomings. And there are a number of issues and challenges in irrigated sector even today. So one of the major concern in irrigated agriculture is the poor water use efficiency, which is presently estimated to be around 38 to 40% for canal irrigation and about 60% for groundwater irrigation. And this is mainly due to the large-scale adoption of traditional irrigation methods, which results in substantial water losses and limited uniformity in water distribution. Then again, inadequate on-farm and off-farm structures, water maintenance of, poor maintenance of water control structures, unlined canals and farm channels also lead to poor irrigation efficiency. And the most obvious manifestations of these shortcomings in irrigation are unreliable water supply, water wastage, and poor maintenance practices. Then secondly, the over-irrigation and injudicious planning of roads, canals, and other infrastructure blocking the natural drainage ways also cause many of the drainage problems, especially in irrigated areas. Then another major issue that is being faced by the irrigation is the depletion of groundwater table. And India invested nearly $4,000 million in public canal systems during 91 to 2007. But the contribution of public surface irrigation has been on decline, and this is mainly at the cost of groundwater exploitation. The main reasons for this is due to the gap between irrigation potential created and actually utilized due to delay in the infrastructure development for the transfer of water from the dams to the fields, then inadequate water storage capacities, then poor maintenance of public irrigation infrastructure and unreliable supplies. And also the another issue is shift in cropping pattern towards paddy. Then one more reason is that the groundwater is seen as a reliable and independent source of irrigation. And also free or subsidized electricity in irrigation is one more reason for over-exploitation of the groundwater. And also the poor physical condition and lack of poor maintenance of irrigation systems has led to inequity in the distribution of water in head and tail reaches due to huge convenience losses. So these are some of the issues that are being faced in the irrigated sector today, and we need to enhance the irrigation efficiency or the water use efficiency so that we could save the water, because it is the largest, irrigation sector is the largest user of water. And if we could optimize the water utilization in this sector, probably we can save much more water can be, provided to other users or to the other sectors or the other competing sectors. So with this, I would also like to discuss some of the management, better management options in agriculture. So I think I can take in the second chance if I am permitted for that. So with this, I thank you and I hand over to Professor Utkarsh. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagi. Thank you so much. Marcella, you spoke about water ecosystem and developing that water ecosystem. So one of the issues that we are facing is that the country is fairly varied in terms of topography, in terms of the way people look at things. In fact, if you look at the situation, there's a place where you can have a check dam, but you can't have some other system. So the choice that we make about the kind of water management system that we have is actually pretty important. So how do you deal with those issues since you work significantly in watershed areas?
See, when we look at an ecosystem, well, let me begin with this. So far, our whole perspective to water and the natural resources is anthropocentric. So we look at more crop per drop. But what we are missing out in this whole element is we are a part of the ecosystem. If we maintain healthy ecosystems, the ecosystems will provide us the services. And that is where we need to change our perspective. So, yes, we are looking at water management. We are looking at water harvesting. Let me take that as an example. We need to see how the waters flow. We need to see the whole biodiversity around it, the forests around it, because all these contribute to supporting the springs, the spring sheds, the biodiversity, the various other services, the regulating services that the ecosystem provides. And we are missing out on these components when we just look at it from an anthropocentric perspective. And that is where, for instance, we need to see what are the different types of structures we need to do. And if we take the local community into perspective and understand their needs, delve deeper into it, we would have a better understanding of how the structures, where the structures need to be placed.
Thank you. Dr. Tyagi, you spoke about significant effort that needs to be put in terms of improving the water efficiency. Now, there are several technologies that are available to improve water efficiency. And in some sense, one size does not fit all. So how do you sort of look at this problem, and what are the kind of innovative solutions that we can look at?
First thing here, I would like to highlight that there is urgent need for modernization, strengthening and improvement of conveyance systems and water control systems for reduction of water losses. Because you know, the poor condition of water conveyance, distribution and control structures in surface irrigation systems coupled with poor management results in huge wastage of water through uncontrolled flow and seepage losses. Hence, our focus should be contemplated on improving upon the existing surface irrigation schemes. And in this direction, government is working a lot through Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, and a lot of works are being undertaken in the command areas to bridge the gap between the potential created and utilization through improvement of the these structures. So that is one thing. Then again, as Marcella was telling, there is also need to conserve water through watershed development and management programs, and it has to be taken up in a big way through community participation. And that's also going on. Last year also, in the morning also, Secretary said that last year we had a Jal Shakti Abhiyan, where the awareness for the water conservation through participation was launched at a large scale. But this year it could not be taken up due to COVID pandemic. But again, we have to work hard in the watershed management side. Then there is also need for renovation of tanks and village ponds. And as you know, there are more than 13 lakhs tanks in the country, which has a storage capacity about 50 million cubic meters. So, we need to restore these traditional water bodies through partial desilting and promoting water harvesting in these tanks. Then again, artificial of groundwater recharge is another major step. These are some of the things through which we could enhance the water supply. Then again, on demand side management, there is need to adopt micro irrigation methods like drip or sprinkler methods, which results in water saving that range from about 30 to 70%. Then one of the most important thing that can be used for saving irrigation water is the irrigation scheduling has to be based on soil moisture monitoring. In fact, a tendency to over-irrigate the crop fields results due to absence of information about the soil moisture status down the soil profile. So the irrigation water management requires a combination of a method of soil moisture measurement and some method of irrigation scheduling. And this This allows the application of precise quantities or the right quantities of irrigation water at the right time. And this will also ensure high efficiency of water use. So we have nowadays, many types of soil moisture sensors. So those things can be used, to observe the soil moisture levels, and based on that, we can plan for the irrigation. Then similarly, SRI technology is there. That is being used mostly in southern states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, in South India, sporadically in few eastern states like Tripura and Assam. So upscaling this innovative approach throughout the country alone could sustain the irrigated rice cultivation in future. Then another, a few more techniques like precision land leveling. Through this technique also, we can save a lot of water in the irrigation sector. Application of mulching, that will help reduce the evaporation losses. Then again, crop diversification programs. Switching
We are running out of time.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
In the interest of time, unfortunately, we will probably have to close. So thank you so much, both Marcela and Dr. Tyagi, for taking your time out and enlightening us on the issues around water and how the water resources can be harnessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.